Hello, my dear students. I am Priyanka Koiri, your science teacher, and today we are going to start a new chapter which is very important, that is chapter 14, and the name of the chapter is Natural Resources. Okay, so let's start. So, what do you understand by natural resources? Okay, or we can say, what are the resources on earth? Okay, so natural resources are materials from the earth that are used to support life and meet people's need. That means the natural resources are those material that are available on earth and which is used to support human beings needs. Okay, any natural substance that humans use can be considered a natural resources. Okay, so anything that we use, okay, for example the air we breathe, okay, so air is used for breathing, so air becomes a natural resource. Water is used for drinking, so water becomes a natural resource. So any natural substance that humans use is considered as natural resources. The natural resources on earth are air, water, soil, minerals, and living organisms. Okay. Now coming to regions of the earth. Okay, so earth is divided into certain regions. Let us study what are they. Okay, so the outer crust of the earth is lithosphere. So the crust is called as your lithosphere. Okay, where rocks, soil are found. Okay, the water on the earth is the hydrosphere. Okay, the water portion of the earth surface is your hydrosphere. The layer of air around the earth is called atmosphere. Living organisms are found where the atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere interacts, and it is called biosphere. Okay, so when atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere interact with each other, living organisms are found there, and that is known as your biosphere. Okay, so let us understand it diagrammatically. So as you can see, atmosphere is the air, lithosphere is the land area, hydrosphere is the water area, and where all these three interact, that is your becomes your biosphere. Okay, coming to air, the first region, that is atmosphere. Okay, so air is a mixture of gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor and other gases. Okay, so in earlier classes, okay, we know that air is a mixture which consists of around 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen and 1% of other gases. It is a well known fact. Okay, now, in planets such as Venus and Mars, where no life is known to exist, the major component of the atmosphere is found to be carbon dioxide. Okay, so we know that Earth is the only planet where life exists. Okay, and in planets like Venus and Mars, which are very near to Earth, no life is known to exist, and it is because their atmosphere consists of carbon dioxide only. Okay, around 95 to 97% of their atmosphere consists of carbon dioxide. Okay, now the air we breathe. So during respiration, living organisms use oxygen to break glucose and get energy for their activities. Okay, so during respiration we take oxygen, and this oxygen is used to break food to get energy. This results in the release of carbon dioxide. Okay, and while doing so we release carbon dioxide. Okay, burning of fossil fuels also use oxygen and release carbon dioxide. When anything is burned, okay, oxygen is used and carbon dioxide is produced. During photosynthesis, green plants convert carbon dioxide into glucose in presence of sunlight and releases oxygen. So the above mentioned two activities, that is respiration and burning, all this produces carbon dioxide content in the air. But as I have mentioned just now, that 21% of the earth's atmosphere is oxygen. So how is the level of oxygen maintained? The answer would be that during photosynthesis, green plants convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. Okay, these processes, respiration and photosynthesis, help to maintain the oxygen carbon dioxide balance in nature. So this process, that is respiration and photosynthesis, together help to maintain the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, next, What is the role of atmosphere in climate control? Okay, the atmosphere covers the earth like a blanket. Okay, it is known that air is a bad conductor of heat. We all know that air is a bad conductor of heat. It prevents the sudden increase in temperature during the day and also slows down the escape of heat during the night. Okay, so a atmosphere being a blanket, it prevents the escape of heat. Okay, like during night, and prevents the increase in temperature during day. So the atmosphere keeps the average temperature of the earth fairly steady during the day and throughout the year. So it is also because of this atmosphere the temperature of the earth is maintained. Okay, now what are winds? Okay, when air gets heated, it rises up and produces low pressure, and cool air moves in to take its place. Okay, so whenever air gets heated, it rises up because of its low pressure, and the region, there is a pressure difference, so the region, so wind comes in its place. Okay, this movement of air causes winds. Okay, next is sea breeze. During the day, the land gets heated faster than sea. Okay, so what happens during near coastal areas, during day the land get heated faster than sea. So the air above the land rises up, and cool air from the sea moves towards the land. So since land is like heated up faster, there is a pressure difference. Okay, there is a pressure difference, and for that the area, I mean the air above the land has rises up. Okay, and there is a pressure difference here, so the cool air from the sea comes to the place of this land area. Okay, this is called sea breeze. Okay, as you can see from the diagram here, the land is warmer, the warm air has moved up, so cool air from the sea will come to its place, and this is called as your sea breeze. Now coming to land breeze. During night, the sea cools down slowly than the land. Okay, so during night, the land, as it is heated faster, it also cools down fast. So okay, so the sea becomes hot. So the hot air above the sea rises up, and cool air from the land moves towards the sea. So this on the air above the sea is hot, so it will rise up, and the cool air from the land will take its place. This is called land breeze. Okay, so as you can see now, it is during night, sea is warmer and land is cooler, so cool air from the land will come to the place of will come to sea, so it is called land breeze. Okay, now coming to what is rain. When water bodies are heated during the day, a large amount of water evaporates and rises up. Okay, so during day all the water bodies are heated, and this water is converted into water vapor. Okay, and this water vapor goes up in the sky. Some water vapor also get into the atmosphere due to biological activities like transpiration, respiration, etc. So some of the water vapor also is added by respiration and transpiration. As the water vapor rises, it cools and condenses to form tiny droplets of water. This appears as cloud. Okay, so when the water vapor rises up in the sky, it cools down there and form tiny droplets of water. This appears as cloud. Okay, when the tiny droplets of water join together to form bigger drops of water, they fall down as rain, snow, or hail. Okay, so these tiny droplets of water slowly they get bigger, and then they come down to the earth as rain, snow, or hail. This is what we call as precipitation. Okay, clear? Now what is air pollution? Okay, we have seen scenarios like this. Okay, so the increase in the content of harmful substances in the air is called air pollution. Okay, so when harmful substances are added to air, it is called air pollution. Okay, now what are the effects of air pollution? Okay, the first effect is your acid rain. Fossil fuels like coal and petroleum contain small amount of nitrogen and sulfur. Okay, so when we burn fossil fuel, this fossil fuel contains nitrogen and sulfur. When these fossil fuels are burned, it releases oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. So when these fuels are burned, it releases the oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. This oxide dissolve in air to form acid rain. So when this oxide dissolve in air, I mean like dissolve in water that is present in air, it becomes acid rain. Okay, so this is what happens. Nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide goes to the atmosphere, then they goes to the cloud to become acid, and then they come down as acid rain. Okay, now the second effect of air pollution is smoke. Burning of fossil fuel also releases unburned carbon particles, which reduces visibility. Okay, so when fossil fuels are burned, it also produces soot, that is your unburned carbon particles, that reduces visibility. During cold weather, along with condensed water, it becomes smoke. So when the smoke, okay, the smoke that is released on burning, when it combines with fog, it becomes smog. Okay, so this is a scenario that we have seen. Basically, mostly it is seen in large cities or near city areas. Okay, as you can see, this is what smog look like. Okay, regular breathing of air containing this harmful substance causes allergies, cancer and asthma. Okay, so if a person is continuously breathing polluted air, he will suffer from many diseases like allergies, cancer and asthma. Okay, now coming to water, a wonder liquid. A very large area of earth's surface is covered with water. Around 75% of the earth's surface is covered with water. Water is also found inside the earth, okay, underground water, in the atmosphere as water vapor. The water in the seas and oceans is saline. Okay, that means it is salty. Fresh water is found in river, lakes, ponds and as ice and snow at the poles and mountains in colder regions, cold region. Okay, so fresh water is found in all these areas. Okay, now water is needed by living organism because of all living process and cellular activities need water. So all living beings need water to survive. So human beings or any living being need water to survive. Without water we cannot survive, because all the activities that occurs in our body need water. The amount of water and other factors like temperature and nature of soil decides the diversity of the species and the number of individuals of each species in an area. Okay, so the amount of water that is available in an area decides, okay, decides the diversity, like how different types of species will be there, and their number is decided by the amount of water and factors like temperature and nature of the soil. Okay, now coming to water pollution. Okay, this is what water pollution looks like. So the increase in the content of harmful substances in water is called water pollution. Okay, clear? Very simple definition. Now, causes of water pollution. What causes water pollution? So water pollution is caused by the addition of harmful substances like fertilizers and pesticides from farm. Okay, so from crop field, when fertilizers or pesticides are washed out, it goes to the rivers and lakes to cause water pollution. Sewage from towns, cities and factories, harmful chemicals from factories, disease causing microorganisms, changes in the amount of oxygen dissolved in water, or change in the temperature of water. So when all these things happen, okay, it causes water pollution. Now let us recall what we have studied. We discussed about resources on earth, that means anything that any natural substance that humans use is your natural resource. We discussed about regions of earth, where we discussed about lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. Then we discussed about atmosphere in detail. Then we discussed how winds are caused. Then we discussed what is rain, how clouds are formed and what is rain. Then we discussed about air pollution and its effect. Then we discussed about water, why do we need water, and water pollution and its causes. So these are the things that we have discussed in today's class. Now, thank you so much. I will see you in the next class.